Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video. Today is going to be a long one. Today we're going to have a 3-round mock draft. Feel free to just watch the first or second round, whatever. I have this all pre-done, so this is my 3-round mock draft 2.0. Yeah, it should be a fun one. Obviously, a lot goes on in the draft, and this is kind of a predictive mock draft. This isn't like what I would do or anything like that, but at number 1, I think CJ Stroud, just his typical size and whatnot, will go ahead and boost him to that number 1 pick under the coaching staff that would be at Carolina. Then at number 2, this makes this pick really easy for the Houston Texans, going Bryce Young, perhaps the QB1 in this class. Now, there are trades in this draft, and here is going to be the first one. And this will be the trade. It'll just be moving up 1 spot, and it'll be a second round next year just to move up to ensure that you get the QB of the future, which is going to be Anthony Richardson for me at 3. So you just move up 1 spot, and then Arizona's still receiving calls. They're like, hey, do you want to move up? And looks like there's going to be another trade. And here will be the trade. You're moving up 3 spots. Las Vegas will move to 104, giving up 70 in this draft, and then a next year third as well. Probably can be a little bit more expensive for this pick anyways, but we're moving up for Jalen Carter at number 4. I know it's crazy, but it's a huge need. And so let's go ahead and just pull the trigger. It's a huge need. Great player. If you can, excuse his personal character concerns, whatever you want to call it. I think that a very, very good pick at 4 is Jalen Carter. If you can get perhaps the best player in the draft class at number 4, and kind of, put the ease on to the character concerns. So at number 5, line Seattle up straight, for the best, perhaps player right now in the draft is Will Anderson on some people's boards. So Will Anderson will be the pick at number 5. We move to number 6. This one comes to no surprise. We're going to go with a super freak, athletic, toolsy player in Tyree Wilson. Hope he can develop behind James Houston and Aiden Hutchinson. He'll probably play a lot more snaps than James Houston heading into this next year, though. If, of course, he gets drafted here. And the Arizona Cardinals, who have traded all the way down to number 7, will go ahead and draft, Arizona. You need someone there. You lose Byron Murphy. Devin Witherspoon's on the board. He seems to be the consensus CB1 now. And at number 8, perhaps the biggest shakeup of any mock draft you've ever seen. It is going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver out of Ohio State for me. The guy's an absolute stud. If he can stay healthy, kind of put the hamstring concerns to ease. I don't think you can find a trade partner up to number 8 that isn't going to be from way, way down there. And I don't think that they want to, still miss out on a player as good as JSN. So you're going to stick and pick. And at 8, you're going to go Jackson Smith-Njigba with Devin Witherspoon off the board. Sure, you could still take Christian Gonzalez, but, Jackson Smith-Njigba is right there. And I think that, that's a great pick. So Jackson Smith-Njigba there, and I will tell you guys there is a fall of receivers in this draft through the time, but first round definitely was quite fun with it. And then here at number 9, I'm just going to go Paris Johnson. You have a versatile offensive line already. Maybe Cody Whitehair kicks to center. Patrick kind of does whatever. Jenkins can move into guard. You can put Paris Johnson there. There's just a lot of flexibility in that offensive line. I think that all starts there. But here at number 10, Philadelphia Eagles. We're getting scoped out for a trade. They're getting some trade calls. Let's go ahead and make it get done. And it'll be with the New York Jets, who are moving up 3 spots and giving away a next year third. That trade is done. They're on the board here. It's trade up to get Peter Skoronski. They'll move above Tennessee and Houston, who are both, if Broderick Jones goes here to Tennessee, and then, Peter Skoronski goes here, you're not left with the greatest of options at tackle, so you want to move up and ensure you can get Peter Skoronski, who might be the best offensive lineman in this draft. And then talking about offensive linemen, do not want to go interior. I'm going to take Broderick Jones right here at 11, high ceiling tackle. Good pick there at 11 for sure for Tennessee. Love that for them. Moving on to number 12 with the Houston Texans. Christian Gonzalez has just fallen too far. And you get really lengthy corners, Stingley and then Gonzalez on the other side. Nelson can kick to the nickel. I know you have Desmond King on roster. It doesn't matter. Such a good player, and Christian Gonzalez and what can be. And I like that pick. Not exactly the best fit. I'm sure that you could have, seen a team trade up here. But Gonzalez at 12 will be the pick. Here at Philadelphia, their pick now, forgot who it was. It is, okay, Lucas Van Ness getting taken at number 13 isn't horrible. I like this the fit. I like the versatility. I like the athletic. I like the tools side of Lucas Van Ness. And then turns out New England is getting a call. And so this will be the trade of New England. We'll be moving down 3 spots. Pittsburgh will be moving up 3 spots. We're giving up 80 and then also receiving 135. So you're moving down about 55 picks just to, get 3 spots ahead here in this first round. I think that's kind of a steal of a deal right there. And this will be for cornerback Joey Porter Jr. up into the top 14 or 15 now. And then this one I actually had a lot of issues with here. I took so long on this pick, kind of going between probably Murphy, Smith, any of these tight ends, and maybe someone else in there. But for me, it ended up being Nolan Smith. Got a lot of big bodies on the line. Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith's a pretty nimble but bigger body. Devontae White, Kenny Clark. I mean, just so many big guys. You lost Jaron Reed, though, so maybe you could beef up the interior later in the draft. But right now, Nolan Smith, who can chase down a running back, whatever you need, athletic guy, has time to develop as well. I love the pick at number 15 and moving on to 16. Here is a fun one, kind of Maryland connections. You don't move too far from Maryland here. I think it'll be Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland into Washington, D.C., where he will play for the remainder of his rookie contract, I guess. And then New England at 17 here. This was a little difficult for me. I definitely wanted to move down again. I just couldn't find the rightful, obviously teams want to trade up for Will Levis. Okay. You don't really need to. I mean, all things considered, if you really look at the board, I think some of you guys will understand what's happening here. But I'm going to go Darnell Wright. You trade down and you get a bona fide right tackle with Darnell Wright. I'm not a huge, not a huge question mark about him going at number 17. I think I've seen him even go higher. So here at number 18, Kalijah Kancey's the pick. Crazy, I know there's still Myles Murphy, but I like Kalijah Kancey and to be a rotational guy on a defensive line with Isaiah Buggs, Aleem McNeil, and Levi Onwuzurike, I believe they have. Aiden Hutchinson, Tyree Wilson now, James Houston. Should be a really fun line, and you can see so many different looks. And I think Kalijah Kancey kind of help that out for sure. And then here at number 19, I think Will Levis will be taken now and just move on. I think that's a pretty straightforward pick. Then here, I chose a receiver that I think would fit the scheme. The other 2 receivers plus this guy right here, which is Zay Flowers, it's just going to revolutionize the NFL. Not actually, but I think that it's a great fit, great player going to a great situation, and I can't wait to see how he excels. And then what was that here? I think, yeah, so we are receiving calls. So, well, let's go ahead and answer these calls. And this will be the trade right here. Dallas is moving up because as of now, Eckler is going to play out the rest of his contract, so there's no running back need, but there is for Dallas. 390, we'll get it done here and just move up. So Dallas on the board now. I don't think that this is any question at all. Bijan Robinson will be taken off the board here at 21. I know Chargers are well in play for him right now, but Bijan to just complement the explosiveness of Tony Pollard and make sure none of those guys really sustain any long-term injuries again like Tony Pollard did. I think you have probably the best running back room in the league at that point once you bring in Bijan, if you bring in Bijan. So there's that. And we're seeing the fall of Myles Murphy right now, who I'm actually a pretty big fan of. So it did kind of suck to see him fall this far, and the next person off the board will be Jordan Addison. Just a pick there for sure. See a tiny little run on receiver going Quentin Johnston here. And then back to the big board. I think this is probably the most popular pick in all of the NFL draft right now. It's Brian Branch to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talked about it quite a bit, and I think that it just fits. So Brian Branch, play nickel corner over there, perhaps slide back to safety, whatever you need him to do. He's a very intelligent, smart, great player. Has been good for Alabama for quite some time. Moving up to 25 here, it's going to be Osiris Torrance, just making sure. One of the better interior offensive line, if not the best, right now. And, he's just such a, I think, powerful player. Not too many question marks on him. He should be really good coming out. And then at 26, Chargers traded down all that. And just to get, this is such a hard pick for me. I actually went Anton Harrison. He played right tackle back in 2021 or 2022, and then actually played left tackle. I think the last year in college. But Trey Pipkins probably isn't your guy at tackle. Anton Harrison, we could see a fall on tackles, but Anton Harrison, obviously, here is the fourth or fifth one off the board at 26. Obviously, there's a lack of tackles available to this point, so kind of see him go as the remainder of the draft. But Buffalo at 27, they're getting ringed up from an AFC rival. And this will be the trade. You're moving up 4 spots in the back end of this first round. This will definitely be a higher price to pay. I think that this 3 is definitely in play here. But for 134, so the 134th pick in this draft, and then a next year 5th, it's just how it works with the simulator here. So it definitely would probably be a cheaper and steeper price to pay. But you move up, you need an edge rusher, and who else? Dude, this is such a perfect pick. Myles Murphy falls all the way to 27, where Kansas City will move up the board and get the need fulfilled. And that would just make them an even better team, which I think everyone's scared of, which is why I was kind of curious why the Buffalo Bills would be trading with. I mean, you're still just getting value, and I think that you're not helping them, but you're just hoping that they can miss and move up and miss and lose like future assets. How I kind of looked at it. And then here at 28, a minor twist in the draft. A lot of people actually have tight ends going here. Me, no, it is actually John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota. Straightforward. You need center, at least they did on their depth chart, so don't come at me saying Jackson Carman's gonna come play guard. Maybe they've got some options there for sure, and especially with John Michael Schmitz, that just creates an incredible front there. And then here at number 29, I thought that Brian Brzee was well in play here. I think that the type of Mozzie Smith, or the type of player Mozzie Smith is, just fits New Orleans probably a little bit better. And right now, I think what you want to build around space eater Mozzie Smith, big body. I think he's close to 315. Could excel at the next level. Here at 30, I actually went, so this is where things kind of might, get a little hatred. I went Jahmyr Gibbs here. If you are going to play Kenneth Gainwell, Rashad Penny, I'm sure Kenneth Gainwell is a receiving back, like a reliable one, but Jahmyr Gibbs, it doesn't get better. I think at 30, this is great value. You're still getting probably a top 10 talent, if not like top 7, top 5 talent in the draft. Such an electric player, can change an offense. So imagine the rest of that offense with Jahmyr Gibbs. It makes it such a good team. And I think Jahmyr at 30 is, like I said, tremendous value. Then obviously you had Buffalo Bills, who actually traded back, and they're going to add interior. Obviously, Daquan Jones isn't going to do it. How long is your other Ed Oliver, how long is he really going to stay there? So Brian Brzee, really, really fun player at number 31. Doesn't miss the first round. Headed into the second round, which is still technically the first round in this little mock draft sim. I actually ended up going with offensive tackle DeJuan Jones. It's a need. He's a player, a ridiculously huge player, but we'll move on. Here with Houston, starting the second round, basically, they're getting some trade calls. And this will be the trade right here. You're moving up 5 spots, giving an additional 5, and then a next year 7th, and it just has 2 for whatever reason. I don't know. But you're basically moving up. You say, who are they moving up for? Is it, Keely Ringo? Is it who else, dude? Darnell Washington off the board at 33. First tight end off the board. You don't want to scare off whatever his face is, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not great under pressure. He kind of just stands in the pocket like a statue. So why not add a 7th or 6th offensive lineman that'll come in and help you in some formations and most. And just an incredible player Darnell Washington is with receiving, and we saw how well George Kittle really worked, which makes me want to go Dalton Kincaid here. I wanted to have him trade up for a tight end. I was like, just Darnell Washington. I love him as a player. I love the stealing. I love all that good stuff. Give me Darnell Washington at 33. No reason he shouldn't be off the board. But I think like Cincinnati and first round teams just kind of didn't get any tight ends, leaving all 3 on the board. But Washington, I can definitely see going in this range, if not earlier, maybe a little bit later. But obviously, back on the board is the Arizona Cardinals, who have so many needs, especially in the trenches. And I think that they're going to address that here. We're going to go edge, Felix Ndike Uzama, just a good solid player you're plugging a need and hopefully it can translate at the next level. Here at 35, I actually did end up going corner. That isn't Keely Ringo. That isn't Manny Forbes. I went Cam Smith, South Carolina's product. Second pick, basically. Yeah, second pick, third pick maybe of the second round. We'll just call it that. And then I've been in love with this fit for a long time now. It's Drew Sanders to the Los Angeles Rams. I think it just makes way too much sense. So I'm not going to pass up on that at 36 if I'm the Rams. No way. Too good of a player. And then right here, the very next pick ends up being interior. It is actually going to be Steve Avila. I did want to see Cody Mock go a little earlier than what he did. You guys will see where he goes later. I'm going to see how much later. So it's not too much later. You guys are still going to see him go like fairly later. And I wanted to fit him in early. And we're already seeing kind of that fall on receivers as Jalen Hyatt's kind of that next tier down from where Zay Flowers is. I like Josh Downs probably a little bit more than Hyatt. I don't like Tyler Scott as much as people do. I like Rashee Rice. Keyshawn Boutte is not that great. Marvin Mims, I've been, convinced about. A.T. Perry, I'm a big fan. Michael Wilson has a huge ceiling. Jaden Reed's quite a fun player. So all these guys, and to spoil it a little bit, they fall a lot. So we'll kind of see how that kind of plays into the rest of the mock draft, see how it kind of shakes things up. But here at number 38, I did get a little different here. Maybe a lot of people want trenches, like especially on the defensive side, but instead I went with Joe Tippmann, center. I've seen him mock 25 to the Giants, so as high as that. And then I think that you just need a center. And Steve Avila got picked, unfortunately, and now you're at 38 and you get Joe Tippmann. So it is what it is. Here at 39 with the Carolina Panthers in their very next pick, I just went Will McDonald. No reason not to. Good, lengthy speed player. Opposite of, Yeturgos Matos, Brian Burns, just those guys off the edge. So kind of fun there for sure. See how, he would kind of play opposite of some of those guys. And then with New Orleans at pick number 40, see a little run here on defense. BJ Ojolari off the board there. Just solid edge. I have high hopes for him, actually. He has a pretty high floor. We'll see how that translates to the league. And then at number 41 for the Tennessee Titans, this is where I kind of got fun. I ended up going tight end Michael Mayer. Listen, I know Chigozie Okonkwo. He's extremely undersized, a great receiving threat, former Maryland tight end, if I'm not mistaken. But Michael Mayer really comes in as a fundamentally sound that is just a tight end. And I think that he's a true, what do they call it? Y? I think he's a true Y. And then you have kind of the versatility of Chigozie Okonkwo to line him out in the slot, out wide if you even want. Chigozie Okonkwo is a great athlete, player, tool on that offense, and I think that Michael Mayer would complement that incredibly well. And maybe, looking at the Tennessee Titans draft here, you maybe don't expect him to go Broderick Jones than Michael Mayer. Obviously, you missed out on, at 11, JSN got picked earlier. So what does that leave you with at wide receiver? Hopefully that will show itself later in the draft, and I might actually have to change it up because I can't remember who I gave them. But back-to-back picks here for the New York Jets, and I actually ended up going Trenton Simpson. He's just too fun and a great player at 42 to kind of pass on. And then number 2, Antonio Johnson, just way too fun of a player. You traded for Chuck Clark, so obviously you want him to play, but he can play in the slot. Johnson can play in the slot, the nickel. If you really need him to, he can do a lot of things for you. Great athlete. I mean, at least there's a lot of burst behind him. Not really that long-term speed, but really fun pick there. And then at 44, I ended up going Emmanuel Forbes to the Atlanta Falcons. And then this pick was pretty much made for me. Dalton Kincaid falls all the way to 45. I think that this is a reality, especially with the way that the board's fallen. I wanted to get these tight ends off the board at least to the middle of this first round. And I think we're doing just that. I mean, we just hit the middle of the second round, I meant, not first. And then so Dalton Kincaid really just comes off the board as tight end number 3 when he's been mocked as tight end number 1 probably more times than Michael Mayer recently in this past month or so. And it's weird. It's a weird situation in the way that his injuries are and how bad and how concerning that they can be to some players and some people. It definitely can vary. So fun 2 picks there. And then this one I got really creative and actually went with Clark Phillips to play the nickel. The slot corner, probably the best one in the draft. I understand if you're like, why the hell are you taking them? It's the New England Patriots. You never know what they're going to do. So I actually went Clark Phillips at 46. Why did you do that? Well, listen, man. I really like the player. Miles Bryant is your current slot corner. I understand Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, Jonathan Jones could probably all play slot, but they've got outside size. And I think if you can just address the middle of the cornerback room and just get a slot corner in Clark Phillips, and probably one of the best in the draft, if not the best, besides Brian Branch. You can obviously make that exception. Clark Phillips is an incredible, pick here at 46, probably a little high and higher than you've seen him, but I'm going to take Clark Phillips there at 46 with New England. And, you've got to be different in the draft process if you want to be kind of stood out. I understand that you might receive some hate. I got that. It's fine. I'm normally pretty good about it, so not really too worried about it. And then here is the guy I mentioned earlier. Cody Mock's landing spot is Washington. I can't imagine one. Andrew Norwell, I think he's like 33 or 30, some really old. And if you need to patch anywhere on the offensive line, Cody Mock can play all 5 spots. I'm not exaggerating. Maybe not excel at them all equally, but he can play all 5. I promise you that much. Leaving me with this pick here at 48 for the Detroit Lions. I love this pick way too much to pass on it. Jack Campbell, 6'5", massive, athletic linebacker to put under Dan Campbell would be crazy fun to watch. And then here I ended up giving Keanu Benton just a good defensive tackle, probably taking a little higher than most people would take him. And then this draft actually went nice for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it was surprisingly interesting. I don't know why I'm looking at linebacker right now. On edge, Adetomiwa Adebawore at the spot. He can probably play interior or just out over a guard or over the center. Depends on where you want to put him. But Tampa Bay gets Adetomiwa Adebawore at number 50, and it's not too bad. And then here at 51, another guy I wanted to take off the board was Luke Musgrave, athletic tight end. You want to only add that to the athletic front of, everybody else. And you got, obviously, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, oh my God, Raheem Mostert. You got Jeff Wilson, who's a pretty fun player, kind of, jukesy, if you will. Watched him play a lot in San Francisco. But second pick of the fourth pick, oh my God, fourth pick of the draft for Seattle. And this one might come as a surprise to some of you guys. I'm actually going to go Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee. It's been a thing. I don't mind that situation at all. Geno Smith, he's really old. I think he's probably around 32 years old now, 30, 31, something like that. So Hendon Hooker can come in and play once, if it was a one-year wonder thing from Geno Smith as well, you have Hendon Hooker to develop behind him for a while. Also injured as well, so we'll kind of see how all that kind of plays out. At 53, for the second pick of the draft for this Chicago Bears team, Keon White will fly off the board for me at number 53. Not too bad. And then at number 54, we saw the fall of this guy, and I'm really, I was stunned when I saw this. I ended up on this pick, and I just went, boom. I'm going to take Jalen Hyatt. They need speed. They need speed on that team, no doubt. And I've heard that said multiple times by multiple people. So I'm going to take Jalen Hyatt at that spot. Hopefully he can develop and kind of play the 3A, 3B role with Palmer. So see how that kind of forms as Keenan Allen kind of winds down his career as well. And then this puts another spot on the board for Detroit, where at 55, they're just going to go with someone. I love this fit. Sam Laporta to the Detroit Lions is awesome. I don't think that there is a single doubt about this class so far. Tyree Wilson's really good. Kalijah Kancey can be really good. Jack Campbell should be really good. Sam Laporta after the catch is really good. So you're getting these quality players, and I don't think that you're going to mind it one bit. Don't mind me looking for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as we will actually go ahead. I thought this was going to be my favorite pick of the draft. It's Tuli Tuipulotu at number 56 overall, a player I'm really high on, a player I really love. And then I think that they need him. I think they need him, literally. And then at this spot, I actually ended up going Julius Brents, freaking huge, 6'3", 6'4" corner, over 200 pounds, I think. He defies all odds. I mean, he tested amazingly as well. Just a different player. I don't think you can afford to pass on him at this spot if you're the New York Giants. Hate me for it. I don't care. And then at 58, we're going to see back-to-back corners go off the board. It's going to be Keely Ringo to develop behind what is now Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs. You get the best of both worlds. You get a shutdown corner like Stephon Gilmore, and you get the ball tracking zone corner and Trayvon Diggs, who can you scope it out for you with Keely Ringo, who just needs a lot of developing. He's got the size. He's got a couple of tools. I think he should be good at the next level. And then at this pick, I actually went Dayan Henley, 6'2" or 3", linebacker that can make it sideline to sideline, can cover, former wide receiver, and now covers them with ease, is a quote I saw with him. So that's pretty fun. And then right here, yep, I remember this pick, clear as day, Zach Charbonnet off the board at 60. So just at the tail end of this second round, which we're about to head into the third round already. Next pick off the board. I thought this was tremendous value. I love Isaiah Foskey. I understand you just got Keon White. You're going to get Isaiah Foskey at number 61 as well. And then this next pick is a little weird probably for some players or for some people where you rank Luke Whippler, but he's just a good player. I think he has center guard versatility. He could just be a guard. But I understand you got Cam Jurgens. I understand that. When is Jason Kelsey going to retire? We don't know. Maybe next year Luke Whippler can move to the center spot if Cam Jurgens can't. And those two should be really good. So see how that kind of ages. And then my favorite pick of this draft up to this point is right here. Gervon Dexter to the Kansas City Chiefs at number 63 is tremendous. I'm a huge fan of Gervon Dexter. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say. Go do your research on Gervon Dexter, and I think that he can help, Chris Jones on the interior if they want to continue, playing Chris Jones out there or inside. And I think Gervon Dexter just complements that so well. Love the player. God, I love that. At 63, great for the Kansas City Chiefs for sure. And then with Chicago at 64, I ended up going Siaka Ika. So you're working the trenches right now. If you're Chicago, go ahead and go look at their draft class real quick. It is Paris Johnson, Keon White, Isaiah Foskey, and Siaka Ika. All of them, dude. All of them. Just trenches. So you're really working that for sure. Here with the Houston Texans. What do you need? You still need a lot. It's not like, okay, life's fixed with Tippmann, Gonzalez, and Bryce Young. Life isn't fixed yet. I think that you still need edge, and I think Derek Hall was great value at 65. Are you kidding? If he falls to 65, happily take Derek Hall there for freaking sure at Arizona's next pick. This one was actually quite fun. I'm going to go Devon Achane, complete opposite of James Conner. Should be a fun one, like back and forth here. And then these two picks right here I found come really easy. I think I did this in my last mock. I went Zach Harrison 1, and then I didn't do this one last time, but I'm going to go DJ Turner at number 2. So you get Zach Harrison, DJ Turner. You're only 2 picks in this first 3 rounds, and DJ Turner can be a great player for you, and so can Zach Harrison. I'd love to see how those two kind of age. Zach Harrison doesn't have to play right away. Obviously, you've got Baron Browning, Benito, Randy Gregory. You've got some other players on the interior as well, so interesting, but Zach Harrison is just an all-out athlete. And then at number 69, we'll see back-to-back corners go off the board. We'll go Tariq Stevenson at 69. I don't think that he's as good as some people really make him out to be. And then right here, I guess, is a trade. Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, trade. So, okay, never mind. This was a trade from earlier. So this is actually a trade down from 70 to now. I had a minor freak out. I thought I missed something. Who did I go with here? I actually went with Josh Downs, right? No, I did not. I just revealed the next pick. I'm so bad right now. Sorry, guys. This pick right here will be Chandler Zavala off the board for me at guard. Love that. And then I have someone moving up for Josh Downs, but who is it going to be? And it'll be the Atlanta Falcons moving up for Josh Downs, moving up 4 spots, giving a next year 5th is pretty fair. We'll go Josh Downs out of UNC, right? So University of South Carolina. I understand you got Jackson Smith and Jigba. They're basically 2 slot receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba going to play outside. I don't think Josh Downs is exactly going to play a whole lot. I don't know why I did this, honestly. Now looking at it, Josh Downs, obviously, you don't really need, as he's like a strict slot receiver. But he's feisty as hell, and Smith and Jigba can play outside. It's a bad pick. All right, guys. I didn't even realize it until it was done. So let me live on here at 72, Andre Carter will be the pick for the Tennessee Titans, who, let's go check out their little draft that they got going on. Broderick Jones, cool. Michael Mayer, good. Andre Carter, really good. So at that spot, it's not horrible. And then we have the Houston Texans back again on the board at 73. I ended up getting a little different here. I actually went with, Noah Sewell at this spot. So deal with it. Christian Harris, Christian Kirksey, Noah Sewell, now a part of that line. I think you got like Denzel's someone. Is it Perryman that's over there now? I can't remember. And then Cleveland's one of two picks in this first 3 rounds as well, on their way now. It's in the 3rd round just to start it, though. 74 overall. What did I go with? Oh, that's right. So obviously they've got a solid roster right now. They don't need interior. Well, how old is that one guy that I'm replacing right now? 33, and that is Benito. Is that Benito inside? That's 33. And Andrew Voorhees, it doesn't matter. He's not on a rush to be on the field anyways. Torn ACL in the scouting combine, so probably won't see the field for a whole year. But Andrew Voorhees can be a great player once healed. And so we'll see what that kind of looks like for them in the future. I think Voorhees is great value at 74. If he can be the player I think he can be, comes back from injury just fine. And then obviously the New Orleans Saints, who traded down with the Atlanta Falcons to get up to this pick or get down to this pick. At 75, I ended up going with tight end Tucker Kraft. Yes, they have Jawan Johnson. I don't care. I don't. And then these next 2 picks were really easy for me to make. They're both safeties. I'm going to go Sidney Brown and then Jordan Battle. 2 great safeties, perhaps, just really good players. I think that they go to good places, good everything. So next up is my team, and yeah, you guys are probably gonna be kind of shocked with this one for sure. So this is a really fun pick because I'm going to go ahead and take Blake Freeland, but I don't think it matters right now. Athleticism score first, right? How tall is this man? Oh, he's 6'8", 300, and he has the number 1 athletic score. Please, this guy is incredible. A skyscraping tackle prospect with outstanding length and good fluidity. I don't care. I'm taking him right here, right now. I don't care how early or how bad of a pick they say this is. Blake Freeland has a massive ceiling, better than Yosh Nijman probably right away. And then with Indianapolis here at this very next pick, another pick that's really different, and I got really different with. I went with, so Cam Smith, obviously, their first pick. Their very next pick is going to be his teammate, Darius Rush. Do I want to do this now? I'm backing out before it's a bad pick. All right, yep, I'm changing up now. I'm going Rashee Rice, so that's different. I originally had Darius Rush going. That would have been no bueno. So before that was a bad pick, I changed it up. I'm going to go Rashee Rice, quick little audible, and then at New England, or I guess New England's the next pick, but there's a trade down. And this will be the trade down. Tampa Bay is moving up just to get a player that they're probably fond of at this spot. That has fallen a little bit, and that is going to be, Matthew Bergeron at number 80. So that'll be the pick. And then here at 81, this one is a little different. I have not picked corner for them yet, and it's actually going to end up being Darius Rush. So that one off the board. I'm going so far off script right now, it's kind of crazy. And then 82, New England finds himself after trading down 2 picks. Dude, I hate to give him Cedric Tillman because he's just so much like Devontae Parker, and I just don't want to do that. But I will give them a receiver. Dude, it's probably Marvin Mims here for me. I'm not a fan of Tank Dell that much. I think that, especially to New England, they might not want to take such an undersized player. Plays tough, but I'm going to go Marvin Mims here at 82. It's crazy, guys, I know, but I'm going so far off script. Originally, I had Rashee Rice going 82 to the Patriots. I had Mekhi Blackman going 81 to the Indianapolis Colts. I had Matthew Bergeron, all the same there. And so we're just getting a little different. This might look completely normal to you guys. And then actually right here, I ended up going Trey Tomlinson. I think that's what he said you can call him now. So he's fine being called Trey Hodges Tomlinson or Trey Tomlinson. I can't remember which one of the two. But Trey Hodges Tomlinson is now a Seattle Seahawk playing the nickel for him if Julian Love does not do that. I think it all depends on what Julian Love's going to do if he's going to play the slot, but he's more of a box player than anything. So I still see Hodges Tomlinson seeing the field if Julian Love is on the field for, a certain amount of plays and whatnot. And then we're moving down to a good pick here for the Dolphins. For the Miami Dolphins. Holy shiznuts. I need to get my stuff back together, get Luke Musgrave and Tyjae Spears in this draft. I think that's a really good draft for you. They can still move up if they want to get someone of that they want. But at number 85 here, I went with safety Chris Smith. Nasir Adderley ends up retiring, moving away from football, and Chris Smith will come in and play that kind of role for him. So Alohi Gilman doesn't have to. So at number 85, Chris Smith is the pick. And then Baltimore up next. I actually went with, okay, so this is where I took Terrell Smith, who I like quite a bit. I don't know how big Mekhi Blackman is. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if he's more of a slot guy. So yeah, this will still be Terrell Smith for me at this spot. I know it's a reach, but these corners are hard to mock, and everybody likes them a little differently. I'm going off of my gut here and going Terrell Smith, athletic, long corner. Not the greatest in college, like production-wise, but he's got some tools. They got 86, big body. Baltimore corner can start immediately. I mean, it's tough to kind of tell. See how he does in kind of training camp and OTAs and see what kind of comes of it. And then at number 87, it's going to be another corner off the board. I'm going Eli Ricks at number 87. Just kind of leave it there. And then is this the spot where I put Tank Dell. I struggled so hard. I spent a whole 5.5 minutes on this pick, maybe even 6 or 7. All right, this pick was so hard for me to make. I didn't know what to do. I was going to take Tyler Scott. I said I need a different type of player, and I just ended up going Tank Dell. I was debating, I think, between Jalen Duncan, Tyler Steen. I even wanted Wanya at this spot. Corners, Caillou Blue Kelly was probably in play for me. So it was just really weird. And then this stud of a player falls to the New York Giants. Cedric Tillman, they've got a whole bunch of smaller receivers in New York. So to get Cedric Tillman to pair up well with them, kind of Isaiah Hodgins, and then if you could get Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Hodgins, and then kind of rotate the smaller / wide receiver 3 / slot receiver, I think that would be a fun fit as well. Chargers, who have actually ended up moving down from... Where were they? Oh, this was the Dallas pick, right? So Dallas gives them an additional pick to move down 5 spots in that first round. It'll come back positive as you're getting a really dynamic, good player in DeMarvion Overshown. You lose Drew Tranquill, you fill that with DeMarvion Overshown, who is such a good, like I said, dynamic player. And the more he develops, the better he'll get. And I think that we're maybe talking about him as a really good linebacker down the line, but quite a bit. I think that it'll take him a little bit to kind of ease into the league and whatnot. And then this is where I ended up taking Tyler Scott, wide receiver. So like I said, they're kind of falling. Scott could go in even in the second round. I wouldn't be surprised. But falls all the way to 91 for me right now. Tyler Scott, I understand, is the best player in the world. I'm also a little low on him. Kind of kicked him down the board for me. I couldn't find a really team-needy fit, but a team with Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, and Khalil Shakir, I think you could use someone like Tyler Scott. He's not like any receiver they have. You lose Isaiah McKenzie. This might be your Isaiah McKenzie redo, if you will. And then the pick here at number 92. This was really easy for me to make at JL Skinner. Jesse Bates is gone. You have Dax Hill. I think you could play free safety and strong safety. JL Skinner, not the same thing. I think he's more of a strong safety than free safety, but his coverability is still quite good. Not great, but quite good. And then right here, this was a little different because this is where I actually went Marvin Mims, but Marvin Mims went where? Marvin Mims went to New England at 82. So Carolina no longer with Marvin Mims, but I still will go receiver with them, and I'll go Michael Wilson, who actually ended up going pretty soon. Yeah, I see where he was at. So unfortunate for that team, but right here, Philadelphia on the board. What do? Can they get another, Jalen Duncan? Imagine. No, I actually ended up right here going Jamie Robinson for him. Reed Blankenship's just starting free safety right now. Not saying you can't have that, but it is what it is. And then actually Jalen Duncan slides perfectly to you at 95 if you are the Kansas City Chiefs. And you still obviously have Tyler Steen available. You obviously still have Wanya Morris available, who won't be available after this pick. It'll be Arizona Cardinals, Wanya Morris. And then at Washington's next pick, I ended up just going Henry To'oTo'o. They could use a fundamentally sound player like To'oTo'o in the middle of the field. And then this next pick is exactly where I went, Michael Wilson. So this for me will be A.T. Perry with great size. He's up 6'4", 6'5", massive human being, and can move really well as well. Not quite Amari Cooper, but could be like fun. And if you learn a lot from Amari Cooper, you really watch him. If Amari Cooper accepts to take that challenge on, David Bell obviously wasn't that great last year. Trade for Elijah Moore. I love that fit. And you also have DPJ, so Donovan Peoples-Jones out there as well. And it's just unlike any receiver really in the league, A.T. Perry, unless you want to, comp him to someone, go ahead, but I'm not going to make any assumptions here. And then I'm actually going to work down the board. Mekhi Blackmon, for me, probably right now is the pick. It was Riley Moss at one point, but with Mekhi Blackmon still being on the board, I'll just go Mekhi Blackmon. And then this right here was really fun. I loved this pick. I went Owen Papo. Now looking at it, probably can go Dorian Williams. Nick is pretty good, but Owen Papo, athletic linebacker, moves really well. Coached up by the right people, I think he'd be really good in the league. You get him in the third round, it's pretty good value. Then at this spot, I actually ended up going Jartavius Martin to play that free safety role behind Talanoa Hufanga will play that strong safety role. Another pick here for the freaking 49ers. I actually went Jonathan Mingo, 102 overall. A player that is hot and cold, but I see more hot right now than cold. I'm a big fan. Obviously, I could have taken him way higher. I wish I would have. But I didn't even think about it until too late. And then at this last spot here, I actually ended up going Byron Young out of Tennessee. So go over a little recap real quick. And this is kind of the same thing I'm looking at over there. I just got to make sure to get these ads out of here because they are annoying. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Jalen Carter, weird top four because of the trades and whatnot. Will Anderson, Tyree, Devin Witherspoon, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Paris Johnson, Peter Skoronski, Broderick Jones, Christian Gonzalez, Lucas Van Ness, Joey Porter Jr., Nolan Smith. These are top 15. Deontay Banks, Darnell Wright, Kalijah Cansey flies off a little earlier than usual. Will Levis, Zay Flowers, Bijan, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, Brian Branch, Osiris Torrance, Anton Harrison, Miles Murphy, John Michael Schmitz, Mozzie Smith, John Mayer Gibbs, and Brian Brzee. DeJuan Jones, basically a second round pick, but we'll get to kind of the second and third round, and I'll kind of go over my favorite picks. I love Drew Sanders here, and you guys can kind of look at the rest. Darnell Washington obviously is a lot different. Going down the board, I like B.J. Ojulari. His value at 40 should be pretty good. What is happening? I don't want to see that. Get me back. I'm scared to press the back button, but I'm going to do it. Okay. Whew. Michael Mayer at 41. I want this to go away. Michael Mayer at 41 is good value. Trenton Simpson, Antonio Johnson. Big fan of those two picks. Love the Kincaid pick. Forbes at this spot isn't horrible. Love Cody Mock. Jack Campbell, I'm a huge fan of. Keon White this late is pretty nice. Laporta to the Lions. That's fun. Tui Peloto, one of my favorite players in the class. I love Dan Henley this late. Whippler was quite fun. This is my favorite pick of the draft. It's got to be. Javon Dexter to the Chiefs. Big fan of that. Siaki Ika. Then Derek Hall, A-Chain, Harrison. Good picks. Zavala. You'll see his name quite a bit as time goes on. Josh Downs, I understand. Bad pick. Shouldn't have been Josh Downs. Sorry for that, but it was. Andre Carter, Noah Sewell, Andrew Voorhees, Tucker Kraft, Sidney Brown. I love Rashee Rice to the Colts at number 79. I think he works really well with Alec Pierce and Pittman. You're still keeping that bigger receiver around as well, and Rashee Rice, and obviously Pierce and Pittman are no scrubs. They're huge as well. Darius Rush this high is very likely. I even think he can go higher than that. Marvin Mims at 82. Looking down, Cedric Tillman at 89 is crazy. DeMarvin Overshown at 90. Loved these safeties with JL Skinner and Robinson. We get towards the end here. I love this little draft here from the 49ers where you get Mekhi Blackmon, who's a serviceable corner. Mingo and Martin, I think, are great picks. So that'll be the full mock draft. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It was quite fun, but that'll be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate every single one of you. You guys, especially if you watched all the way to now. That is crazy. That'll be all. See you guys next time.